Well, Wikileaks' latest expose of Stratfor mails has stung Pakistan. Stratfor emails have exposed that Pakistan knew about Osama bin Laden's whereabouts in Abbottabad. Wiki cables have said that mid to senior level officials in ISI as well as the Pakistani military knew about the arrangements that had been made for Osama bin Laden. They also said that those mid and senior level officials of the ISI and Pakistan military knew about the whereabouts of Osama bin Laden along with a retired Pakistani military general. The mail was written by Fred Burton, who is Stratfor's Vice President for Intelligence, to one of his regional directors for South Asia. Another Wiki mail has exposed that a top Pakistani army general was an informant for Stratfor. And we have Maria Sultan, Strategic Affairs Analyst, joining us from Islamabad. Maria, there is a report in the Telegraph which got this information through Wikileaks that Osama bin Laden was in routine contact with several senior figures from the Pakistan's military as well as intelligence agencies while hiding in Abbottabad. So what is your take on this information?
I think this is what the American intelligence agencies, and particularly the people who were situated in Pakistan, wanted to transmit to Washington, considering the fact that they wanted that this operation was conducted purely by the Central Intelligence Agency and did not incorporate Pakistan or Pakistani armed forces. So therefore, they had to build that level of perhaps doubt and distrust so that the entire operational responsibility is shifted in their domain. And I think that explains as to why they took 8 months. And the reason I say this is because when it came to real threats and when it came to more than the real operators of Al-Qaeda, which more than 200 were apprehended by Pakistan, that's where the Pakistani intelligence agencies and the Pakistani armed forces were utilized. So I think this was a more of a high-profile case in which they wanted the limelight for themselves rather than actual tangible evidence which proved. Otherwise, we would have seen things quite differently after the death of Osama bin Laden, where America and Washington would have come very clearly on Pakistan, stating that they were in contact with the biggest terrorist which we know of as Osama bin Laden.
Maria, the US officials time and again have said that Washington has no proof to establish that the military either provided bin Laden a hideout in Abbottabad or had any knowledge of his whereabouts. But the information came from an email of Stratfor Vice President Fred Burton. So how credible this email could be according to you?
Well, we are all very familiar that Stratfor has been an outfit which has got very close contacts with various intelligence agencies. They purchase information, and whenever you purchase information which comes from different sources and then it is utilized for intelligence purposes, it is really considered as intelligent reporting or credible reporting. These are reporting, definitely information which is based for a spin, and that's what you get, depending upon who's paying the best price.
Maria, do you think the United States could use this email information as a bargaining chip in negotiations with Islamabad, which is currently at the lowest step after the NATO raid?
I think merely emails and self-created proofs are really a reflection of the reality on ground. I don't think this email has any credibility to begin with. It might work in the US system enough to perhaps work their system for the operation which they conducted. But the fact of the matter is that there wasn't anything more tangible, or there wasn't anything which could clearly establish the facts saying, contrary to what Pakistan has been claiming, that it was not in contact with Osama bin Laden. And let's not forget that Osama bin Laden was a rogue CIA asset. And considering the fact Pakistan would always have secondary information about it, Pakistan would always require for the first primary information for the CIA to give the lead. So in this case, I think the situation is not something which actually gives Washington any kind of bargaining chip vis-a-vis Pakistan.
All right, so you think Washington does not get any sort of bargaining chip, but do you think that some officials in the military or intelligence agencies had any information about bin Laden or his whereabouts?
No, I don't think so. I think because this is too high profile a case, and if that was the case, I don't think anybody would be motivated that much to protect Osama bin Laden without any tangible monetary benefits or any kind of political benefits, or for that matter, any kind of international benefits which might be associated. And let's not forget, Osama bin Laden's head was worth quite $1 million. So if somebody was doing it and keeping him there there, then there has to be a bigger and higher purpose for that. And I think as far as local intelligence failure is concerned, there's no doubt there was local intelligence failure. But in addition to the local intelligence failure, the biggest failure had been on Pakistan's side for actually trusting the US side, that they will be honest in terms of sharing their information, and that we were actually collaborating in the intelligence arena, and that we were actually fighting against Al-Qaeda and terrorism. Because if that was the case, then there had to be global cooperation under UN Resolution 1267, which made it binding for the United States to share information with Pakistani intelligence agencies and armed forces, which they clearly did not do, despite the fact that the UN Security Council Resolution 1267, which basically asked the countries to cooperate with regards to Al-Qaeda and other affiliates, made it mandatory and was under Chapter 7. This was violated. So this is a clear indication of the fact that that's not how things were, and that's not how things were developed.
Maria Sultan there questioning the credibility of the leaked email by Wikileaks. Thanks, Maria, for speaking to Times Now. Meanwhile, the Stratfor CEO, speaking after the expose, has condemned Wikileaks for the latest expose.
Thieves hacked into Stratfor data systems last December and stole a large number of company emails, as well as private information of Stratfor subscribers and friends. Today, Wikileaks is publishing the emails that were stolen in December. This is a deplorable, unfortunate, and illegal breach of privacy. Some of the emails may be forged or altered to include inaccuracies. Some may be authentic. We will not validate either, nor will we explain the thinking that went into them. Having had our property stolen, we will not be victimized twice by submitting to questions about them.
So far, there is no official comments on the latest WikiLeaks information. However, the government has time and again said that the Pakistani establishment had no knowledge of the whereabouts of bin Laden or his stay in Abbottabad. And the US officials have also seconded this version of Islamabad.